Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take. Continuing my previous hot take, let's take a look at who's up for re-election in 2020. Now, a lot of Republicans are up for re-election, but I think these guys are mostly safe. Here are the races for Senate. As you can see, they are lit up by blue or red, depending on who's currently an incumbent. Now, the Democrats, they got Minnesota. Minnesota's up for grabs, I think. If you look at the stats, this is Ballotpedia. In the 2014 campaign, they had the Democrats up by over 10 points, making it a very safe state for a senator, a Democratic senator. In 2016, it's only 1.5. And I got to think, because Minneapolis is in Minnesota, there's got to be a lot of Democrats rethinking their vote right now. I mean, big time. So I think I'm going to call Minnesota for whatever Republican is running. The next state is Michigan. And again, that's a Democrat, Gary Peters. In 2014, the Dems were up 13.3, but now, or in 2016, the Republicans had a slight margin, 0.2, over the Democrats. I think Michigan goes red too, so I would expect these two states to go red. Now, in terms of flipping over to Democrats, Colorado looks like it's slowly turning blue here from 2014 to 2016. The Republicans had an edge in 2014 of almost 2 points. Now the Democrats in 2016 had an edge of 5 points. You know, Colorado doesn't seem to be at the hub of any of the current riots or anything. So it could very well just sort of stay where it is. Also, Susan Collins looks vulnerable too, although I believe she got reelected. I mean, this 2014, Michigan was like solidly Republican, and then 2016 it was almost Democrat by 3 points. The Democrats had an advantage. So and I'm just going by Ballotpedia. I'm sure there's more accurate ways. New Hampshire is also heading towards more red. The Democrats had like over a 3 point margin in 2014, but just a 0.4 margin in 2016. And I got to imagine it's closer to red now. New Mexico, probably solidly blue, but it is leaning less Democratic. So, I mean, I would expect these three northern states to go red. The Republicans might lose Maine, and Alabama. I mean, come on. I can't believe there's a Republican in Alabama. It's heavily Republican. I gotta think they'll throw Doug Jones out just based on the fact, Republicans, just like Republicans in New Jersey where I live, don't last very long. Democrats can't possibly last very long. I mean, the moment they make a mistake, I'm sure they'll kick them right out. So there's a good chance, I think, Alabama will go red. And, the Republican brand's so strong now because of Trump. I got to think these numbers are going to heavily favor all the Republicans, especially in the Senate. So I would call, I think the Senate is going to pick up, I think the Republicans will pick up 3 seats. Maybe the Dems pick up 1. Maybe. Then you got the House. Now the House is mostly blue, but it's still more Republicans are defending their seats than Democrats. You can see it's quite a list here. And a lot of it's solidly blue. The Democrats all the 2018 a lot of Democrats had advantages. Here's Steve King. His seat. I think he'll be gone. He'll turn that seat will turn blue. But a lot of these are very close. New Jersey, Jeff Van Drew, who's now a Republican, is defending a seat. I don't live in his district, but I think he has a good chance of holding on to it because of what happened. Or maybe it was Peter King. Maybe it was Peter King was the guy who had the scandal. No, I think it was Steve King. Steve King's the one who's probably going to be out. But as you can see, the Democrats don't seem to hold. I mean, in a few states they hold by a wider margin. Like here in Iowa's second. Oh my gosh. And California's 53rd. The Democrats are up by over 38 points. Yeah, you'll never get rid of Susan Davis. Jeez. So, but I think the Republican brand is so strong. You're going to see these. This, and granted, these are 2018 numbers. Anything less than a few points. I mean, I think they're all very vulnerable. Same thing for the Republicans too. But see, the Republicans have Trump. They have Trump in his corner, and Trump is really good at promoting, and he's promoting the Republicans. So, these guys. I think a lot of these blue guys are in trouble. So overall, what's up for grabs here? There's 74 races. 42 have Democratic incumbents and 30 have Republican. Oh, so it is more Democrat. I thought so, looking at this list. I don't know why I got it in my head. I guess because there's more Senate Republicans. But I think, I think the Democrats will lose like 70 to 80% of these seats. I think they'll lose, let's see, 74 seats, 42 Democrats. I think they'll lose like over 30 of the seats. I really do. Simply because of the brand of Trump Republicanism. Anybody in the double digits in terms of their lead as a Democrat's probably safe. But, someone like this, this is Ben McAdams in Utah's fourth. It only leans towards Democrats by 0.3. That's not a wide margin. I think he'll be one of the ones that get creamed in the election. Now at governorships, not a lot of Republicans doing all the defending here. Washington is solidly Democratic, but you got to figure Seattle must play into this, right? I mean, Seattle was just such an S show. How could this not hurt the chances of the Washington governor, Jay Inslee? I got to think he looks incredibly weak, and this is a chance for Republicans to turn that state red. Same thing for North Carolina. Roy Cooper basically pushed the Republican Party out of his state for their big, Trump's reelection campaign, or the RNC, the National Convention. To do that, you're pushing a lot of money out of your state. I think it was a bad move. I think it's sour grapes. I think it was just, again, the polarization and the Democrats responding terribly. There's absolutely no reason the governor couldn't let them have their thing and, still criticize Trump. It would have made total sense. But the one that's probably going to flip is Montana. Montana's, according to Ballotpedia, is a bit of a toss-up. Why is this coming on? It's a bit of a toss-up. Where is it? Oh, yeah. It is, yeah. It's a toss-up. So I would call that for the Republicans. Most of the others will probably stay red, but you never know. Delaware probably stays blue. I mean, Delaware's so kind of out of the way off the national stage. Plus, Biden's from there. He was the senator from Delaware. So I don't think Biden's state will turn red. I don't think any of these other states will turn blue, quite frankly. But you never know. I mean, some people just get sick of having the same people over and over again. I know in New Jersey, Every once in a while, we just throw out the Democrats and hire a Republican, right? So that's how we ended up with Chris Christie, of all people. It was just one disgrace after another here in Jersey, unfortunately. And, I hope that if a Republican takes Phil Murphy's chair next year, that he'd be a decent person and more of a libertarian sort. I hope, because, geez, Chris Christie was just terrible in my view. I don't know how good or bad he would have been during this crisis. Ugh, boy, it's tough. It's a tough call. During Sandy, I don't think he botched it, but I don't think he handled it well. He definitely didn't handle the optics well, and he did spend money he shouldn't have spent on himself, basically getting reelected. Towards the end, he was just a fat loser in my view. Ah, Chris Christie. Nothing made me happier than when Trump screwed him. Oh, I was so happy when Trump just kicked him out and didn't put him in the administration. I was like, yes, yes, there is a little bit of justice. So you can see I'm not a Republican. But yeah, so looking at the matchups, mostly it's Republicans on the defensive. But I think they're going to take the House. I really do. So, they'll just crush the Democrats. I'm going to call it at like over 30. That would be my guess. Over 30 of the 42 seats Democrats have to defend are going to go to Republicans. And most of the Republicans will just coast to an easy victory. Maybe one or two will get knocked out, but I doubt it. Lindsey Graham up for re-election in the Senate. He'll coast to an easy win. You can't get rid of that guy. Can't get rid of him. I've never liked Lindsey Graham. I always thought he was a warmonger. Granted, he became sort of Trump's like buddy, but he's really more of a yes man in my view. He just kind of knows where his bread is buttered. Same thing with Mitch McConnell. He's but you can't unseat Mitch. He's in a solidly red. I mean, he's 2016 up almost 30 points. I mean, how you gonna beat that? No way. So it's going to be interesting election. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it to be over. Just so, I just want to see Trump, run away with it. I want it to be a decisive victory to shut up everybody in the media. I want him to win by so much they can't possibly say he cheated. That's what I really like to see. Just because, God, this whole 4 years of just hearing over and over again what a terrible, terrible president he is. And just, if you look at presidents, yeah, they're all terrible. All the modern presidents are pretty terrible in their own way. But to pick on Trump as if he's some sort of monster, some sort of dictator figure, it's just ridiculous. And unfortunately, the hyperbolicness of the media and their partisanship towards the Democrats, it's going to end up hurting the Democrats at the end. It's why they're going to get wiped out. And Doggy agrees. Don't you, Doggy? Yes. Doggy agrees.